Hello, Champi. Hello, Edmund. Hello. Hello, Miss Champika, can you hear me? Hello. Hello, dear students, can you hear me?
Hello,
Hello.
Dr. Renuka, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hello, dear students. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon. Dear students, now we are in our second semester, no? Second semester, first day of our day school, data structures and algorithm. CSU, what is the course code? CSU 3302, what is the course code?
CSU 3302.
Yeah, very good. Then, my dear all students, I kindly request you to rename your login with your register number and your name. All the students kindly request to rename your login with your register number and your name. Kindly request to do all the students. ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ login එකේ හැමෝම ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ register number එකයි නමයි දාලා login එක rename කරන්න මේ සියලුම දෙනා. After this day, after today, you have to always, when you are login, you have to rename your login with your register number and your name. Then we can easily that mark your attendance. You no need to mark, we can get the attendance from the Zoom. From Zoom report, we can check whether you are in, how many minutes you have be with us. Okay? We are not going to mark your attendance. With the Zoom report only, we are going to mark. For that, we need your register number and your name correctly. Otherwise, you won't get attendance. Register number and the correct register number and your name. All the students, you have to rename. I think now still remaining 2 or 3 students. Register number is not enough. Register number and your name must be there. Dear students, you have to think of your computer lessons. You must need actually your desktop or some computer you need. You are not going to, we know about you now because we have enough experience with C programming. I think we have a bad experience with you in C programming. So many students didn't come for the lectures. Then now we are experiencing with your final paper marking. Take this into your mind. Don't think this is a play or this is a game. At the last minute, you can't cover your syllabus. From today onwards, you have to cover your data structures and algorithm syllabus. We are not going to give any single mark for your pass or fail. To pass, we are not going to try. You have to try to your pass marks. Okay? Then you have to think whether I am going to lectures or I am following the videos 3 to 4 hours. We know you are not doing that. If you miss something, you can do that with the recordings. But whole recording, that is false. If you no need to come to that lectures online interactively, it's okay for you. But I request you to join with at least a laptop. Phones, no need actually. It is wasting time. With the phones, you can't go to more than 2 hours lectures. You are wasting time. You can't understand. You can't at once go to your lecture notes or anything. It is wasting time. If you are doing computer subjects, you must have a computer. That is the reality. Without a camera, that newspaper or any journalist, they are not doing their job, no? Then you also must have to think of that. Okay? Don't play. At the end of the day, we need your answers for the final and CAT 1, CAT 2, and final exams. That is your future. You have to take into your mind. Don't try to fool us. Being with us 1 to 2 minutes, 3 minutes like that. We are not going to tell anything to you. We will measure with your attendance with the Zoom report. You have to do your part, then we can complete our part. Always we are completing, but no results. Okay, then today we are going to start our data structures lectures. Most of the things you are again repeating with the C programming lectures. I think that is an advantage for you, and fortunately, however, again, you are giving time to refresh your mind and refresh your knowledge based on the C programming, very basic things. And now you are step by step coming up to the data structures and algorithm. Then only thing you have to do, today is the first day, then you have to you have to be with us first. Then you have to gain the knowledge within this 4-hour lecture or 3-hour, whatever we are going to complete. Then you have to check whether you have gained or you have gain your knowledge in a proper way. You will have a quiz, then you can do it and you can measure your knowledge, especially with the very basic things up to arrays. Then from that only you will have time to develop your knowledge based on the arrays. Okay. Then Ms. Champika will conduct the lectures. Then again, kindly request you to be with the lecturer and do it with interactively. If you can't understand at once, you can ask. We both are here in the lectures. Then you have to ask from us anything. Then you can clarify and we can move to the next step. Without clarifying anything, don't move forward. That's the better thing. Okay, I think you can understand what you want. Actually, that is not our responsibility. Your responsibility is you have to connect with us very interactively. Interactively means if you like a classroom, in the physical classroom, if you have a question, you will ask. Then same thing you can do with us. Only problem is we know about your instrument. Instrument, you have to think of us. You have to think of yourself, because you have to, now you can, what to do? You have to save your time, money, and other difficulties also. From that, you have to spend your money for a laptop, not a big laptop. To some facilities, with some facilities, you can buy a laptop. Try to do that, otherwise very difficult to work with the phone. Because definitely, I know you are not going to work with more than 2 hours with the phone. At the end of the day, if you may tell us, my phone was not working, my phone was dead and no power, so many things, but you are the person ultimately getting failure. Okay. Then I think all the students, you have received the books. Is it okay? If anyone didn't get your course material, if anyone with us raise hand, කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද ඔයගලන්ගේ course material එක හම්බෙච්ච නැති අය? If any student, then that means you know your course material now. I will share the screen. Then you know that syllabus. I think all the students can see my screen. Data structures and algorithm overview. In the overview and preliminaries, again you will have time to go through your for loop and arrays and all. Then take the advantage and again refresh your knowledge. Then from lesson 3, you will be direct to the data structures and algorithm with list pointer implementation, advanced linked list structures, text queues, tree structures, binary trees, that all the things you see that combine each and every topic together. Then try to get the knowledge today. Then that knowledge will enough for the next lecture. Like that, you have to be one by one gain the knowledge. We are not going to ask for the Cat 1 from whole lessons, no. Then you can actually score 100 marks for Cat 1 very easily, because we are going to cover only limited lessons. Then I invite all the students to get 100 marks for your Cat 1 this time. Okay, then I wish you all the best. And I think you are having your course material also. Then this is your course material from lesson number 1. You can go through. Don't ask any student that soft copy. We are not going to give any soft copy for you. You are having course material. From the course material, you can prepare your short note. I can remember that short note you have to, I inform you to submit. We will give you time to submit, then we will give you that prize for the best one. Okay, we can remember. Then I think it's okay. More advices also not be better. No? Then I will stop. Then Miss Champika.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Renuka.
Thank you, Champika.
Good afternoon, dear students.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, madam.
So how are you all after the final exams of the first semester? All are fine?
Shall we give time to put the expected marks in the chat box?
So far, so
Still-
good.
Yeah, still 192. So far, so good, madam. 190, Champika, still we are
Yeah.
having.
Though we have 870 students registered for this course, we are only having 196 together with both of us. Anyway, it is up to them. We can't ask them to attend, no. That is their responsibility. Anyhow, we are doing our duty. So today we are going to start our second semester subject. What is that subject? What is the subject you are going to learn today? Now,
Data
Data
structures.
structures and algorithms.
very good. What is the course code?
CSU
3302.
3300.
What is the credit value?
3.
3.
3. You know basic things about the course, no? Very good. I am so preferred to speak with you. So always try to answer questions when I ask something. Okay? Same as last semester when we were doing programming, only 2 or 3 students answer the questions. But we prefer if you all can join with us actively. That is the best thing. Right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, miss.
Yes, madam.
Right. This is your subject, data structures and algorithms. Course code is CSU 3302 as you said. Right. First of all, I will going to talk with you about the course, but it is also same as the first semester courses. So Dr. Renuka and myself are the coordinators of this course also, as same as my introduction to computer programming course during the first semester. So we both of us warmly welcome you to the course CSU 3302 Data Structures and Algorithms. So to follow this course easily, you should have a sound knowledge in C programming. So we learned C programming in the first semester, but you need to refresh your knowledge of programming to this course. Otherwise, you can't follow this, right? When you compare this course with the computer programming, you will understand it is very easy. I am not going to tell this subject is difficult, but you need to know each and every basic thing of computer programming to follow this course easily. Right? So in this course, we are going to learn different data structures. What is the meaning of data structure? The programmatic way of storing data and some algorithms. Data structures mean programmatic way of storing data, and algorithms means the steps we need to follow to complete a certain task easily and efficiently. At the beginning of our programming course, we learned please unmute your mics. So as I said, if you try to understand fundamental things clearly, learning data structures will be a funny experience for you. So we are the coordinators, and all of you know our email addresses and contact numbers. If you want anything to clarify, you can contact us through email or over the phone. Again, this same as in the first semester, the evaluation method is same. We have one CAT written paper, that is NBT, no book test. You can't take any note with you. And the practical test. So practical test is also compulsory, right? As previous, you need to get more than or equal 35 to get eligibility for the final exam, right? But to pass the final exam, you need to have more than 40 marks for the final paper, right? If you have more than 35 for your OCAM, you can sit for the final exam, but you need to get more than 40 for your final paper to pass this course. So you have one course material. At the end of the course material, practical guide also attached. As you are aware of code blocks, we are going to use the same software for this course also. If you need, you can use C free also or any language, but for the practical test, we are using code blocks only. So it is better always try to use code blocks. So as in the first semester, we do all our communications through LMS. Okay. So these are the fundamental things I need to remind you before starting the course. Right. So actually, why we are learning data structures? Do you think you are using data structures in your day-to-day life? Can anyone tell something? අපි නොදැනුවත්වම data structures පාවිච්චි කරනවද නැද්ද අපි day-to-day life එකේ? Data structures කියපුවාම අපි computer related එකක්නේ. මොනවද අපි ඒ වගේ our day-to-day life we use things to do our work efficiently and easily.
Softwares, many kind of softwares.
Yeah, many kind of software. You are talking about relating computer na? I am asking our natural life. If you are arranging things in some order, you can find anything easily, no? So
Madam.
think about your wardrobe, your or your books. Are you arranging them in any order?
Yes, madam.
Yes,
Yeah.
madam.
If you are arranging them in some order, you can find anything easily, no? Otherwise, in the morning, you have to run somewhere to the kitchen, to your room, or to your sofa set to find your books and your clothes. No? So that is wasting time. Like that, when we store something in the computer, we need to arrange them in order. Then we can do our things easily and efficiently. Understood? Right. This is the aim and objectives of this lesson. Right. why we need computers. We need computers to store large amount data, and we can do complex calculations using some software, and we can store our data and our information for many years. Like that, we need computers, no? So we manipulate data using some programs to get information using computers. To manipulate data efficiently, it needs to store data in organizable way. That is the data structure. Data structure means we are organizing our data to access efficiently and easily. So collection of well-defined steps to solve a particular problem is called as an algorithm. What are the steps we need to follow to store our data in organizable way? Learning data structures and algorithms allow us to write efficient and optimized computer programs. The selection of the most appropriate data structure must be done after a careful analysis of the problem domain. So we learned these things at the beginning of computer programming course also. So before select a data structure or data type, we need to analyze our problem carefully. After that only we can select a suitable data structure or data type, and what are the steps we need to follow to store the data. Like that, first of all we need to analyze our problem clearly. So if it is no need complex data structure, if the same thing can be solved using simple one, no? Why are we growing our problem? අපි වවා ගන්නයි. පොඩි දෙයකින් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපි ආයේ ලොකු දෙයකට යන්න ඕනේ නැහැනේ. අන්න ඒ නිසා we need to analyze our problem first. After analyzing your problem, determine the resources you have. Right? You know what are the resources: computer memory, CPU speed, storage size. Those are the resources you have. Determine the basic operations to be carried out. So you need to think, what do you want to do with this data? What are the operations? Operations mean, for example, you need, if there is a list, you know what is the list, no? We take a list as an example. Shopping list. So when you create your shopping list, sometimes you need to insert something. Sometimes you need to delete something. And you need to search whether you put your things, everything. And if you have any priority, you need to put them in the upper part like that. Those are the operations. So then you can determine the suitable data structure that best suits for above requirements. First of all, you need to think about your resources. Then what are the operations you are going to carry out? After that, you can select a data structure. If you select data structure by considering the above steps, it is called as centered data structure because it gives priority to data and the operations to be done to the data. So each data structure has its own strengths and weaknesses. Some data structure may be not suit for some operations. Like that, each and every data structure has its own strengths and weaknesses. So those are the things such as amount of space required, amount of time to perform a single basic operation, and a programming effort. So these things are called as cost and benefits of data structure. Or we can say advantages and disadvantages of the data structure. So you know, data can be represented in a computer in many forms, such as real. Real means floating point numbers, integer, character, string. So those are the data types. In programming language, data type is an attribute of a data which tells the computer what kind of values are going to use and how many memory spaces need to store those values. Can you remember in the first day of computer programming course, we learned these things. Data type represents what type of values you are going to use and how many memory spaces you need to store that value. It also defines the set of operations performed on that data type. So if it is an integer data type, you can add them together, subtract, like that. Those are the simple operations. So these data types you know. We learned in C language, integer, float, character, double. In Pascal, you have integer, real, Boolean, character, like that. So data types may be different in any different languages. Right? In C language, we use float to represent decimal numbers, but in Pascal, we use real data type to represent decimal numbers. Like that. So, you know these basic data types. Apart from the normal data types, there is another data type called abstract data type. This is a new word for you. Abstract. These are simple data types. This is abstract, which defines the basic mathematical concepts on data type. Right? We'll see what is that. Abstract data type is a definition of new data type. It describes its values as properties and associated operations, but not implementation. Right? What do you mean by that? It describes its values as properties and associated operations, but not implementation. If I say like this, integer data type is a abstract data type. Right? Integer can be considered as abstract data type. So the values you can use for this data type. It defines its values such as minus values, 0, positive values. Those are the values. And when you think of integer data type, you know what are the operations you can do with this data. What are the operations? Addition, subtraction, comparison, division. Those are the operations. Now you know integer is a simple data type, and we can consider it also as an abstract data type. So when you say integer, you know what are the values you can have for integer data. And you know what are the operations you can do. But you are not going to think how these values are going to store in the computer. Right? It is hidden from you. So integers can be represented in computer as binary number or 2's complement number or binary coded decimal number or any other way. So we are not going to bother how these integer values are stored within the computer. We can use these numbers, but we need not to know how they stored. That is the thing we call abstract data type. Got some idea? තේරුණාද ටිකක් හරි? Abstract means user is abstracted from the implementation. User don't want to worry about the implementation. Right? When you write a program, programmer need to know how he is going to store the data structure. But user don't want to bother about the implementation method. Right? That is the abstract data type. So all these things are abstract data types. Though we use this new word, abstract. So as example 2, I got a list. So we are going to learn about list, different types of lists. So list also a abstract data type. For a list is insert an element, delete an element, or traverse through the final element. Traverse means going through the list. So we can implement list as array list, or linked list, or circular linked list, or doubly linked list. So we already know what is the array. So we are going to learn linked list, circular list, doubly list. So in using any of the method, we can implement our list. But when you implement, you need to know how to implement. But any user other than you do not want to worry about the implementation. So that is the abstract data type. In real life example, we can take a bank account. So when we have a bank account, what are the things we need to know about the bank account? Is somebody say, when you create a bank account, all of you are using bank accounts, no? You all are adults, no? So what are the things you need to know about bank account?
Withdrawal amount and depositing amount balances.
Yeah, withdrawing amount, depositing amount, bank account number. Those are the things we need to know, no? But we want to know about how they are implemented? They are implemented as a manual thing or as a computerized thing. We bother about those things? අපි ඒවා ගැන හිතනවාද? ඒගොල්ලන් මේක මැනුවල් පොත්වල ලියලාද මේ කරලා තියෙන්නේ? මේ එහෙම නැත්නම් කම්පියුටරයිස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ? අපිට අපේ ගාණ හරියට තියෙනවා නම් බැලන්ස් එක හරියට තියෙනවා නම් අපි ක්‍රෙඩිට් කරපුවා මේ amount එක හරියට වැටෙනවා නම් එච්චරයි අපිට ඕනේ නේ. අන්න ඒ වගේ දෙයක් තමයි ඔය කම්පියුටර් ජාගන් එකේ කම්පියුටර් වර්ල්ඩ් එකේ abstract data type එකක් කියන්නේ. තේරුණාද? Any doubts to clarify? කාට හරි මොනවා හරි තේරෙන්නේ නැති තැනක් තියෙනවද අහන්න? Right. So data structure is the implementation of an abstract data type. In simple, data structure often refers how data is going to store in a computer's main memory for efficient usage. So data structure means how we are going to store our data in computer for efficient usage. Cell is the basic building block of any data structure. Or we can say node or cell, okay? So a cell can be thought as an empty box which can hold a value. When I discussed about data types also, when you declare a variable, I ask you to think it as an empty box and you can put something to that box. So cell is like same as that. The basic building block of any data structure is a cell. Data structures are created by composite data types. That means collection of basic data types. So you know basic data types, integers, characters. float, double, and arrays also you can think as basic data type. But when we move one step further, data structure is created by composite data types. That means two more than one data type. You can collect more than one data type together. Can you remember structures and unions? What is the structure? How did we create a structure? Structure has only one data type. Structure එකට අපි ගත්තේ එකම එක data type එකක්ද?
No.
No, collection of data types, no? Then what is the difference between structure and the array?
We can use string.
Sorry,
Different data types
different data types for what?
for structures.
Structures, then
Arrays contains one type of data types.
yes, very good. Array contains only one data type. If it is a character array, you can insert only characters. If it is an integer array, you can insert only integer. But in a structure, you can have integer data type, character data type, float data type. Neither. So data structures are created by composite data types. In simple, data structures are created by giving names to a collection of cells which can hold different types of values. So now I think all of you have an image about a data structure. Data structure is a collection of different data types. So different empty box together. Okay. Or you have any doubts? ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න හොඳේ. So there are two types of data structures. Built-in data structures, we call those as primitive data structures, and user-defined data structures. So we learned some user-defined data structures also. So see this picture. So built-in data structures, user-defined data structures. So we learned those things during our programming course. Integer, float, character and pointer. Everything we learned. Here also we learned arrays and files. This is the missing part. So this is the thing we are going to learn within this course. Right? So we are going to learn user-defined data structures. Those are lists. Lists can again divide linear list and non-linear list. For the linear list, we can take stacks and queues and linked list also. For the non-linear list, we are going to learn trees and graphs. So we are going to fulfill this missing part of data structure during this course. තේරුණාද? Are you okay?
Okay, madam.
Right. Again, linear list we can divide into two: static list and dynamic list. Static list means arrays. It is fixed one. Static means fixed. First of all, in your program, you need to declare your size of the array. After that, you can't change. But in dynamic list, we can insert or we can say we can grow or shrink our list. If it is just static one, we can't grow or shrink. But in dynamic one, we can grow or shrink. We can insert and we can delete. So here we are going to learn linked list, stack and queues. I think you got some idea about the things we are going to learn. So we can take array as a composite data type. Array is an example for simple data structure, but it is also user-defined one. In computer programming, array means, can you remember what is the array? Array means a contiguous block of memory locations. So if you are going to store some values in an array, you are going to store them in contiguous memory locations. Where each memory location stores values of same data type, which can refer through same variable name with an array index starting from 0. I think you can refresh your knowledge about array. නේද? array එක මතක් කරගන්න පුළුවන් නේ. Well, we learned one-dimensional array, two-dimensional arrays. All are contiguous memory locations. And you can refer any memory location using the same array name with the index, array index. Right? This is the thing. This is an array. So size of array is 10. Array index starts with 0. So if the size is 10, the last element, index of element is 9. So in these empty boxes, you can input some values. If it is integer array, you can put integer values. If it is character array, you can put characters. Right? So this is the static one. That means you need to define the size of the array at the beginning. Can you remember how did you declare an array?
Yes, madam.
How? Can you say?
Data type.
Hmm.
variable name
Hmm.
within a square bracket, the
Hmm.
number of element in array.
Yes, very good. Size of the array, in other words. So if it is the integer array, what is the data type?
Mm.
Int. If it is character array,
Char.
char, right. Then you need to have a name to represent the array and the size. Right. To do some operations in an array, you need a loop. Can you remember? Normally we use for loop. This is a simple thing. We learned previous semester. This is array, integer type array. Name of the array is my array. And the size of is 5. And initialize the thing. And using this for loop, it will print the values of that array. Right. Then you need to remember the pointers. That is also we learned during our programming course. So what do you mean by a pointer? Pointer contains what? Point එකක් කියලා කිව්වේ මොකක්ද අපි? Point එකේ මොකක්ද තියෙන්නේ?
The address of another variable.
Very good. Address of another variable. Very good. Right. The relationship or connection between two cells is represented through a pointer. So if these cells are not in the contiguous memory locations, we need to contact them using a pointer. Right? Pointer is a variable that contains the location or the address of another data type, data item. Therefore, the value in a pointer indicates the address of another cell. Right? Pointer always contains the address of another memory location, another variable. So in C, a pointer is declared as data type and the pointer name. Before, to represent the pointer, you use this star mark. Right? So you need to remember the pointer and the variable should be the same data type. Right? This is the variable. This is the pointer. So after declaring the pointer, you need to assign the address of this variable to your pointer. These should be same. Right? This is the variable. Name of the variable is name, and it contains the character A, and we assume the memory location is this. Address of this memory location is this. So this pointer is in somewhere else, and the name of the pointer is this one, and this pointer contains address of this memory location. But it is in separate location. This is the location of pointer. This pointer contains address of this variable. Okay. So using this mechanism,
Miss Champika, Miss Champika, you can
Unmute කරන්නේ කොහොමද මේ
Yeah.
මේගොල්ලන්ගේ?
then you can go to the participants.
ආ
Participants, then you can see that mic is on, then you can press that, then it will mute. You are the host, so that's
හ්ම්.
you have to get the participant list.
Participant list
Participant
එක
list,
අරගෙන one by one I
yeah.
have to mute the.
No, very first one. Under your
Mm.
name, the very first name. Under the host name, very first. You can unmute that. You can mute the participant
බලමු අය මේ වුණා.
because that in house they don't know.
හ්ම්.
That's a problem. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, dear.
Right. So using this mechanism, we can link some cells together. Like this. So this is the thing we are going to learn today. So we can link number of cells together by pointers. This is the thing. Using pointer concept, we can link number of cells together. So it creates a list. List is something like this. This is the information part. We'll say information part or value part. And this is the address part. Address means address of this member. So this contains address of this member. This contains address of this member. Like that, we are going to link some cells together to create a list. Right. So these are the introduction part. So in this lesson, we learned these things. Brief introduction about cost and benefits of them and how they are constructed. Data structure. It is necessary to select an appropriate data structure to manipulate data efficiently. One-dimensional array as an example for a data structure. So we covered first lesson of the course. Do you have any doubt before moving the second? ඔයගලන්ට මොනවා හරි තේරෙන්නේ නැති තැනක් තියෙනවද ඊළඟ පාඩමට යන්න කලින්?
No, madam.
Thank you. Who are you?
Mufliha, madam.
Mufliha, are you there? How are
Yes,
you?
madam. Fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Then who are the others? Ramali?
Yes, madam.
Very good. All are there, no? Then who is that? Kotmali Dinetra, no?
Yes, madam.
Are you also there, no? Then Saks, who is from Jaffna? Very famous name. Jaffna,
Can
Jaffna.
Sakila, no.
Sorry?
Hello, Miss Champika.
Yeah.
Can you please advise them to rename their login name from the register number and their name? So many again existing. Because
Can
we
all
are
of
going
you
to take a
rename your
Zoom
login?
report now. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Zoom report, we need their register number
Registration
and their name.
number and the name, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Please rename your login with your registration number and the name. Then we can easily find your attendance. Okay, then shall we move to next lesson? If you don't have any doubt,
No, madam.
Okay, ma'am.
very good. These are the preliminaries about C, the things we learned last semester. This is the basic structure of a C program. First of all, you need to include what? All the header files you need to include. Then functions within curly brackets. You can write your program statements.
Main function.
Yeah. So function, what is the function? A function groups a number of program statements into one unit. So there are library functions and user-defined functions. So what are the things we used to take a decision? If you ask to write a program, whether you got eligibility or not. If you got more than 35, you are eligible to sit for the final exam, otherwise not eligible. So what are the statements we used to get that decision? If and else. Yes, very good. Then within many possible cases, to select one, we use switch statement. Can you remember this switch case?
Yes, ma'am.
Then these are the loops we used: while loop, for loop, and do while. What is the difference between while and do while?
In while loop, we first check the statement. Do while after the in while
After
loop,
execution of first cycle, no? In do while, we check the condition after execution of first cycle. In while loop, before going to the cycle, we check the condition. Very good. Right, those are the early loop exit statements. Break and continue. Those are the things we need to use this course. Most of things we learned, but those are the things we need much within this course. And the structure. Can you remember structure? Collection of variables which can be different types. So this is the keyword. This is the name for the structure. And these are the members of the structure. So these members are in different data types. And this is the variable name of that structure. Right? So this structure has 3 data types together: character, integer, and float. Then to access a member of that variable, what is the operator we used? With the variable name. What did we use? What is the name we use that operator?
string copy, str copy.
Dot operator. Very good. Dot operator. We use dot operator to access any member of the structure with the name of the variable. This is the variable name. This is the member name. So we use dot operator. If you want to access this, student dot wait, like that. And pointer also we discussed, no? And that these things, dynamic memory allocations. We learned 4 dynamic memory allocations: malloc, calloc, realloc, and free. Malloc to allocate some memory. This is also to allocate some memory. Difference between malloc and calloc is these two, right? This star mark and comma. And realloc means to redefine the allocation size. Then free is to, using free, you can free the allocated memory using this any of dynamic memory allocation function. Right? If you want any more explanation, you can ask, but I think we learned those things, everything. So because of that, we don't want to waste our time. I just remind you, and if you can't remember, please go through that lessons in the programming course before starting your studies. Right. Now only we are really starting data structures. Lesson 3 is about lists. These are the aims and objectives. So, what do you mean by a list? Can anybody say one list? මොකද්ද ලිස්ට් එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ? ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්න ලිස්ට් එකක් කියන්න මොකක් හරි බලන්න.
Collection of data items.
Collection of data items. Day to day life එකේ කියන්නකො.
Grocery list.
Grocery list. Very good. Then book list, to-do list, shopping list. Shopping list is not yours, mother's one, no? ඔගොල්ලෝ නෙමෙයිනේ shopping යන්නේ අම්මනේ නේද? එතකොට ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් to-do list එකක් තියෙනවනේ. ඒ දවසට කරන්න ඕන ටික. ඒ වගේ එකකට we can refer it as a list. So when we prepare a list, so many times we add some more items to the list, or we delete some items from the list, or we search whether we included things correctly in the list. Those are the things we are doing with our list, no? So we call these things as operations of the list. Insert, delete, traverse. Those are the operations of the list. Right? See, this is a list. So for that list, we can insert something new like this. Or if it is not necessary, we can cut them off. That means we can delete. Or we can find whether we include bread here. If you need to put it in first, you can rearrange this list. So these are the operations: insertion, deletion, traversing. Those are the things. So understood, what do you mean by a list? It is the same as our day-to-day lists. So list is a abstract data type. Up to now, did you think about that? List එක abstract data type එකක් වෙනවයි කියලා මෙච්චර වෙලා හිතෙන්න නැතුව ඇතිනේ. එහෙමද? එතකොට list එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ abstract data type එකක්. Collection of data. So lists are flexible structures. So we can add things or we can delete things. That means we can grow or shrink on demand. The elements of a list can be accessed, inserted, or deleted to or from any position of the list. It can also be concatenated two lists together or split into sublists. So in mathematically, a list is a sequence of 0 or more elements of the same type. Same type means homogeneous. Right? Those are the elements of this mathematical list. The size of the list is n, because starts with 1. If n equals 0, the list is called as empty list. Elements of a list can be linearly ordered according to their position in the list. That is, if we say I is any position in the list, then I proceeds with I plus 1 and also AI follows AI minus 1. Those things you can understand, no? A2 follows this, proceeds this. The thing is that it is also convenient to assume that there is a position following the last element of the list. So after the last element also, you can add something. So then we are moving how to implement a list using our knowledge of data structure. Right? List එකක් කොහොමද අපි So now you can understand list is an abstract data type. ඔයාලට දැන් තේරෙනවද list එක abstract data type එකක් කියලා ගන්න පුළුවන් ඇයි කියලා? මොකක්ද අපි abstract data type එකක් කියලා කිව්වේ? We know the values and we know the operations we are going to carry out of these values. But we are not bothered about how to implement. Same as that list, we know the values of that list and we know the operations we are going to do, but we are not going to bother how that implement, whether it is an array list or whether it is pointer implementation list. So because of that, we can say a list as an abstract data type. So we can implement a list using array also, right? But I am not going to discuss lengthy about array implementation of list because it is not worthwhile, because array is a static one. No? So we need to declare the size of the array at the beginning. So sometimes it is wasting memory and sometimes the memory is not enough, which we declared at first. So I am just going to touch this about array list, and I will explain the linked list pointer implementation much better than the array one, right? Linear list is a collection of nodes which can be easily represented by an array of nodes. You can understand these things. When you think about array, you can understand these things. So it is called as array list. In an array, elements are stored in the contiguous memory locations. But in an array implementation of list, it is not necessary to store the list elements in contiguous memory locations. So it needs a link of next location also. So don't bother about these things. So this is the way we are going to declare a array of a list variable. So first of all, you need to define the size of the array. Then you need to declare your structure. This is the keyword. And this is the name for the structure. And these are the name members. You need to have information part. If it is a value one, you can use integer. If it is a character one, you can use character like that. Then this is to link next part. But if it is a array one, this is also not necessary. Because of that, I am not interested about array implementation. Right. Then this is the way you are going to define your variable. Keyword, structure name, then array name, and the size. So when it is array implementation, you need dot operator to access the member. This is the name and this is the array index. For example, if we say you want to access fifth element of the array, this should be what? You need to access fifth element of the array. To access fifth element, what is the value here? What should be the value here?
4.
Very good. Why?
Array index starts from 0.
Very good. Very good. I am so happy. Right. So these are the possible operations of array-based list: traverse, insertion, deletion, search, update. So these are the disadvantages. Wasting memory because we need to decide the size of the array at the beginning. Should keep track of the free entries to insert. After would be anywhere. Using an array will impose an upper limit of the size of the linked list. Right. So I am just moving to lesson 4. Right. This is a lengthy one. So we'll start and have a break. Around 3 o'clock. Or before starting this lesson, you need a break. මොකද කරන්නේ මේක ටිකක් දිගේ මේක තමයි මේ කෝස් එකේම තියෙන බේසික්ම දේ හොඳටම තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? එතකොට මේක හොඳට තේරුම් ගත්තොත් ඔයාලට මේ කෝස් එකෙන් භාගයක් ගොඩ දා ගන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? අපි මේක පටන් අරන් 3ට බ්‍රේක් එකක් ගන්නවද නැත්නම් දැන් බ්‍රේක් එකක් අරගෙන 3ට පටන් ගන්නවද?
මම දැන් කරලා ඊට පස්සේ
දැන් කරලා ඊට පස්සේ බ්‍රේක් එක.
ඔව් මම නැත්නම් ඕවර්ලෝඩ් එක දිගට කරනකොට
හැමෝම මේකට කැමතිනේ?
ඔව් මැඩම්.
ලන්ච් අරන් දින්නේ කට්ටිය බඩගිනි නැද්ද?
නෑ මැඩම් ෂේප්
හරි එහෙනම් අපි 3 වෙනකම්
15 minutes
shape
break
ද?
ගාම
එහෙමනම් අපි 3ට බ්‍රේක් එකක් ගමු පොඩි බ්‍රේක් එකක්. Right. As I said, you need to understand completely and clearly this lesson. Okay? මේ පාඩම නම් හොඳටම තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම තේරුම් ගත්තොත් ඔයාලට මේ කෝස් එකෙන් භාගයක් ගොඩ දා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඇල්ගොරිතම් කැල අතරුණාම භාගයක් තියෙන්නේ data structures නේ. එතකොට data structures අනිත් හැම එකක්ම තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන් මේක හොඳට තේරුම් ගත්තොත්. හරිද? ඒ නිසා මොකක් හරි තේරෙන්නේ නැති තැනක් තියෙනවා නම් ඕන කෙනෙක් ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න මට පුළුවන් විදියට එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන්නම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට. හරි? සිම්පල් උනත් කමන්නේ ඕන ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහන්න.
මැඩම් මේ කෝස් මැටීරියල් LMS එකට අප්ලෝඩ් කරලා තියෙන්නේ.
කෝස් මැටීරියල් එක අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කෝස් මැටීරියල් එක හම්බුණානේ. දැන් ඉස්සෙල් ડોක්ටර් එනුකා කිව්වේ. හම්බුන්නේ නැද්ද?
තාම ගන්න බැරි වුණා මට.
කොහෙද ඔයාගේ සෙන්ටර් එක?
කැන්ඩි.
කැන්ඩි? ගෙවල් කොහෙද?
අම්පාරේ මැඩම්.
ඔයා එක්සෑම් එකටවත් එන්න නැතුව ඇති කැන්ඩිනේ.
නෑ මැඩම්.
ඒකට අම්පාරෙන් ගන්න බෑද ඔයාට? බැරුව ඇති නේද?
Champika, then when they are registering, they no, they received no.
සෙකන්ඩ් සෙමෙස්ටර් එකවත් දුන්නද රෙජිස්ට්‍රේෂන් කරන වෙලාවේ? මම නම් ඒක ෂුවර් මතක නැහැ.
නෑ මැඩම්.
දුන්නේ නැද්ද?
නෑ.
ඔයා පුතේ කැන්ඩි වලට ආවනම් ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි හැබැයි.
හැබැයි අම්පාරෙන් ඔයා මේ රික්වෙස්ට් කරා නම් ඔයාට පොත ගන්න පුළුවන්. අම්පාරට මේ ගෙනත්ලා හරි පොත දෙයි. දැන් ඔයා තව ළමයි ඉන්නවද? තව ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස්ලා is there any student without course material?
ඔව් නේ.
Sorry Miss Champika. තව ඉන්නවද ඔයගොල්ලන් මේ course material එක
කවුරුත් ආන්සර් කරේ නේ.
කවුරුත් නැහැනේ. ඒ දැන් අම්පාරේ මේ
ඔයාගේ යාළුවෙක්වත් නැද්ද කවුරු හරි එන?
අම්පාරේ කිව්වම ඔයා පොත් ගත්තේ කොහෙන්ද පුතා මේ first semester එකේ?
ෆස්ට් සෙමෙස්ටර් එකේ මැඩම් මේ කැන්ඩි වලින් ගත්තා.
එතකොට මේ පොත දුන්නේ නැද්ද second semester එකේ මේ පොත?
නෑ මැඩම්. මම ආවම ගන්නම් මැඩම්.
ඕගොල්ලන් කොයි වෙලේවත් බලන් ඉන්න එපා අපි මේ course material එක අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් ඒක අපිට මේ සම්පූර්ණම මේ තහනම් මොකද ඔයගලන්ට කෝස් මැටීරියල් එකක් දෙනකොට මේ soft copy එක අරගෙන ඔයගලන් මේ students, most of the students, they are doing unnecessary things with the course material. Because of that only we are not giving the course material. You can prepare your short notes and you can follow that. Okay. හැබැයි ආපහු කවුරුත්ම කියන්න එපා විභාග ලඟ වෙනකොට course material එක නැහැ කියලා. No, Miss Champika?
Yes, yes, yes.
When we reach to the final exams and make CATs, they will say that they didn't receive. Other thing is very important.
You go
we
and
are
ask
giving
comparison.
yeah. Yeah, Ampara Center you can ask. Then if you can't get, you call me. Then I will settle it.
Okay, ma'am.
Right.
Then what about other books? Your botany or chemistry or other books second semester? Did you receive those? Dear student, oh, what is your name? Miss Champika.
Ampara student, what is
Yeah.
your name? Disconnect mother, yeah. Right. Anyway, if you have any doubts, please call us, okay? Like these are the aims and objectives. So this is about pointer implementation of lists. So when you see the topic, you need to know you are going to use pointers. So because of that, you have to refresh your knowledge about pointers. Right. In pointer implementation of list, pointers are used to link successive elements of the list. As I showed you a list using pointers, joining 2, 3 cells together. Reserve nodes at the beginning. So in array implementation, we need to know the size of the array at the beginning. But in pointer implementation, it is not necessary to know the size of the list at the beginning. In array implementation, inserting a new element is expensive because room has to be created for the new element. To create a room, existing elements have to be shifted. For deleting also same. So if we have a sorted list like this, and if we want to include insert 1025, we need to move them and we need to create a room here if it is an array implementation. But pointer implementation, we can easily insert it in the middle of the list without moving or without rearranging anything in that list. Right? And if you are going to delete one element here, so again, you need to move this to here. In pointer implementation, random access is not allowed. What do you mean by random access? Random access කියලා කිව්වේ මොකක්ද?
Ramek.
Sorry. Sorry, dear. Random access mean we need to access directly. If it is array implementation using array index, we can access any middle element randomly. If you want to access this one, access this one. But if it is a pointer implementation one, in pointer implementation, there is no index for any element. So from the starting point, you need to move one by one and access this one. That is why we say in pointer implementation, random access is not allowed. It is says as sequential access. You need to start from the first and go one by one and access this one. It is called as sequential access. Need more space than array implementation to store the pointer. Right. Pointer implementation if list of lists are known as linked list. We name this type of list as linked list because these are linked together using these pointers. Links between adjacent cells can build up in different ways, known as singly linked lists. So we are going to learn all these three: linked list, singly linked list. So basic operations of these lists are creation, insertion, deletion, traversing, searching, and display. In a linked list, each data element, we call it as a node. We call this as a node or cell. The famous name is node. This is one node. This is one node. This is another node. So each and every node has two fields. Maybe more than two. If you have more than one information, you need to have 2-3 fields here. But at least you need two fields, that is data part and the next part. Next part contains the address of next node. Right. What are the two fields? Information field and next field. Next field contains the address of the next node. Understood what is the linked list? You are going to get these nodes using pointers. So this each node has two fields. Next field, address of the next node. If it is last node in the list, it does not contain any address of the next one. So we say it points to have a dummy node. We call it as head. So always head or You can use any name you can use. So always this dummy node contains address of the first node of the list. Right? Understood everything? Head, data, next, null. තේරුණාද හැමෝටම? කරගෙන යනකොට තේරෙයි තවත්. එතකොට we call this as linked list because using pointers we are going to connect them together. So there are 3 types of linked list: single linked list, double linked list, and circular linked list. Each node in a list contains 2 fields, data field and next field. Next field also always contains address of the next cell, and the last node does not connect any more node, so it points to null. And to refer the list, you need always a dummy node called head or something. This is the explanation. You can understand if you see this clearly. Normally, in linked list, there is a dummy node called as head node. It is not a standard word, okay? You can use any other word. To refer easily, we use head. Points to the first node of the list. So this is the dummy node. So it always contains address of the first node. Normally it is equal to this node. Always head is this one, and actually it is this one. It contains this data field also, but we are not concerned about this data field of the dummy node. Always we refer the address, only the address. Right? The last node points to null. This normal linked list is called as singly linked list. Right? Here, assume these are the memory locations. Right? So this cell contains address of this memory location. This cell contains address of this memory location. This one contains address of this memory location, and this is the last one. So it points to null. That means it does not contain any memory address. Understood? තේරුණාද මේක හොඳට? පැහැදිලි කරලා තියෙනවද? ඔව්. කියන්න. කවුද ඇහුවේ? මොකක්ද ඇහුවද? නැත්නම් තේරුණා කියලා කිව්වද?
කියලා කිව්වා මම.
තේරුණා කියලා කිව්වා. Very good. Right. Now we are moving how to declare a node in the linked list. Right? A node. So we are first we are learning about singly linked list, okay? A node in a singly linked list can be declared as follows. This is the way we are declaring a node in that list. It should be a structure. So you need to have keyword of struct and a name for your node. And This is one of your member. This is one of your member. This is information part and this is the next part. So to represent information part, it can be any data type. And this is the next part. That means the address part, this part, right? To represent this address part, you need to have this same two words here. Because always this refer again the same type of node. This is another one cell, this is another cell. So this is referring same type of cell. මේ වගේම cell එකක් තමයි මෙයත්. එතකොට මෙයා refer කරන්නේ එයාගේ වගේම cell එකක්. ඒ නිසා you need these both words here and the pointer. For easily, we use this as next because we are containing next address of next cell. For that also, you can use any name. Right? So we call this as self-referencing pointer. That means it is referencing itself, same as itself. එයාගේ වගේම එක්කෙනෙක් වනේ එයා refer කරන්නේ. ඒ නිසා තමයි ඒකට self-referencing point එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. හරිද? එතකොට keyword එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ struct කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ name for the node. This can be any word. And this data type can be any data type. And this can be again any name to refer the information part. And to refer the self-referencing pointer, you need these two keywords here and the pointer. Understood? This is information part and this is next part. This is a node. And this is the variable. This is structure. Using this structure, you can create your own variable. So when you create your own variable, you can use this keyword also, type definition. Without that also you can declare your variable as you did in your programming course. In your programming course, you declare it as struct node pointer like that, without this word. But when you referring this variable, you need to type again all these words. If you didn't use this one. තේරුණාද? එතකොට මෙතන you learn two new things. How to declare a self-referencing pointer and declare a pointer variable using type def. If you didn't use this keyword, when you refer this variable, always you have to type these two keywords. ඔයා මේ වචනේ පාවිච්චි කරේ නැත්නම් ඔයා මේ variable ඔයාගේ program එකේ පාවිච්චි කරන හැම තැනකදීම මෙන්න මේ keywords දෙකක් දාන්න වෙනවා. ඒක නැති කරගන්න තමයි මෙන්න මේ type def කියන එක අපි දාන්නේ. තේරුණාද දැන්? මේ විදිහටනේ this is the way you use in your programming course. to declare a structure variable. But here you learn a new keyword, type def. Do you notice something in place of data type? Struct node is written before pointer name next. මෙතන data type එක වෙනුවට තමයි එයා self referencing point එකක් නිසා. It means a structure member which points to the same structure. මේ ටික හොඳටම තේරුණාද? මොනවා හරි අවුලක් තියෙනවද? කාට හරි තේරුන්නේ නැති තැනක් තියෙනවනම් කියන්න.
Madam, excuse me.
ඔව් කියන්නකෝ.
Madam,
ඔව්. I can't hear you.
madam, type def කියලා පාවිච්චි කරනම ඕනද?
කවුද කතා කරේ මට ඇහෙන්නේ නැහැ. මෙන්න මේ variable එක කොහෙදි හරි තැනක දැන් මේකනේ වාගේ variable එක වෙන්නේ.
හා?
එතකොට මේ variable එක ඔයාගේ program එකේ පාවිච්චි කරන හැම තැනකම මෙන්න මේ keywords දෙක පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනේ. struct node point කියලාම පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනේ. නැතුව node point කියන එක විතරක් ගන්න බෑ.
හා හා.
ඒක නැති කරගන්න තමයි අර හැමතැනම මේක දදා ඉන්න අමාරු හින්දා තමයි මේක දාන්නේ. එහෙම මතක තියාගත්තා නම් හරි. ඒක ඇත්තටම user defined data type එකක්.
Thank you, ma'am.
තව මොනවද ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්නේ? මෙතන මේක හරිනේ. මෙතන data type එකක් නැතුව මෙන්න මේ keywords දෙක අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ මේක එයා වගේම තව එක්කෙනෙක්ව refer කරන හින්දා. ඒකට කියනවා අපි self referencing point එකක් කියලා. හරිද එතකොට අපි දැන් එහෙනම් බ්‍රේක් එකක් අරගෙන මෙතන මේ ඔපරේෂන්ස් ටික පටන් ගමු ඊළඟට.
Okay, ma'am.
right එහෙනම් මෙතනින් අපි නැවතිලා now the time is 2:56 3:30 sorry 3 not 3 3:30 yes
3:30
මොකද්ද
Okay, ma'am.
3:30
ඔව් 3:30 පටන් ගමු.
Okay.
And these are the operations we are going to do with linked list. Now we know how to declare a node and we'll start operations later 3:30. Right, okay. Okay. Dear students, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Increase in the number. No? Okay, we'll start. Right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Hmm. We stop from here. Right. Now you know how to declare a node. Right. We'll see. We'll take this as our list. We'll assume this as our existing list. දැනට අපේ තියෙන list එක මේ වගේ කියලා හිතමු. එතකොට if you didn't have existing list, you need to create a list. If you have a list already, you can insert anything at the beginning or at the end or in between, any position in between. Or you can delete first node, or you can delete last node, or you can delete any node in between first and last. So for the insertion and also for the deletion, you can consider first node, last node, and in between any position. Right. First of all, we'll see how to insert a node to a list, existing list, or how to create a list. Right. As I said earlier, a node can be inserted to a linked list at the beginning, the end, or any specified position in between first and last. Understood? This is insert operation. One of the operations we are going to do with our linked list data structure.
Yeah, ma'am, clear.
Right. First of all, we consider inserting at the beginning. A node inserting at the beginning. So when you insert a node at the beginning, we have to consider two cases. Insert a node to an empty list. If there is no existing list, you are going to create your list. That means you are inserting a node at the beginning of the list. Or you can insert a node to a beginning of an existing list. So the two cases of insert at the beginning are create a list or insert at the beginning of existing list. Understood? Right. If the list is you don't have any or created list, inserting a node at the beginning means creating a list. right? So how do you check whether the given list is empty? I said always we need a dummy node called as head, or you can use any name referring the first node of the list. So if this dummy node is not pointing to anything, that means there is no existing list. Then another how do you check whether the given list is empty? Empty list එකක්ද කියන්නේ දැනට list එකක් නැද්ද කියලා බලන්නේ එහෙමයි අපි. When the head is pointed to null, we say that the list is empty. So head does not, if the head does not contain anything, head pointed to null, then that means there is no existing list. තේරුණාද?
Yes,
Yes, very good. Did you notice some new thing here? Here. Some operator. Okay, we'll see that later. So,
column.
sorry. මොකද්ද? No, I will tell that later. Right? So, if head is pointing to null, that means the list is empty. So, if the list is empty, you need to create. Insert at the beginning means create the list. So, these are the steps you need to follow to create a list. We called it as an algorithm. The steps we are going to follow to do something is called as an algorithm, right? For example, if we are going to prepare a tea, we need to follow some steps. So this is, those steps are algorithm to create a tea, to prepare a tea. Likewise, to insert a node at the beginning to an empty list, these are the steps you need to follow. We'll see what are the steps. First of all, you need to declare your structure variable. Before declare the structure variable, you need to declare your structure. This is your structure. Keyword, then name for your node, then members, information field and next field. This is the one we discussed here, this one. Then you need to declare your variable. Second step should be declare not variable. To declare not variable, I said you need to use type def keyword. Then struct node. Here, struct node. Then your name, variable name. Type def, struct, keyword struct, and the name you use for your structure, then your variable name. If it is easy if you use some meaningful names. I use node for the structure and the individual node I refer as linked node because this is a singly linked list. So this is the thing I said earlier. Then you need to allocate memory for a new node. So this is not array implementation. We are going to implement this list as a pointer implementation. One, when you declare, when you implement your linked list as a pointer implementation one, you need to declare, need to allocate your memory dynamically. That means when you are, while you are running the program only, you are going to allocate memory, not like array. If it is array, first of all, you need to define your size of the array. To allocate memory dynamically, you need to use one of the dynamic memory allocation function. That's why we refresh our knowledge about these things earlier. So you get a new variable called new node. It is type of linked node, right? This type of variable. This is your original variable. From that variable, you can declare a new one, right? If you didn't use this type def keyword, whenever you refer this one, you need to use these two keywords. So if you didn't declare your variable without using this, you have to use struct node, linked node, new node. Here also you need to use struct node. Here also you need to use struct node. To remove that headache, we use this type def. If you use type def, it is not necessary to use these two variable names. Then mother, are you there?
Yes, madam.
You
Yes,
can hear
madam.
me, no?
Yes, madam.
Because in my area, it is raining heavily and thundering also. Sometimes I may get off and I will use my dongle and log in again. Please wait, okay? If I disconnected.
Okay, madam.
Right. So, using this one, you get a new node. A new node like this. So, you declare a variable like this. That means you keep your space for the new node using this one. Then allocate memory for that node using malloc function, dynamic memory allocation function. Then this is a separate function and you have to return your new space to allocate for your new node. Right? You allocate your memory for a new node, and you have to return that space to your main program. This is a separate function. I use get node. Name for this function as get node.
Malaya.
Please unmute your mic. Mute your mics. So we told in our programming lectures, whenever you allocate, while you are running the program, you need to check whether you can allocate memory or not. Right? Whenever you allocate memory dynamically, you need to check whether you can allocate memory or not. So, if this new node equals null, that means memory is not allocated. So, whenever you allocate memory, you need to check this one. You will learn these things automatically when you run programs 1 or 2. Right. Then, this is your allocated space. We'll see like this. Right. Then, create a new node with given data and make the new node points to null. Right. Here, the information field is, we refer as information. So, new node information, info, anything, any item or in element equals null. Your value should be put in this data field. Sorry. In this data field, your value should be, you need to put. Right? The thing is doing like this. Here did you notice some new thing? New operator. මෙතන මොකක් හරි ඔයගොල්ලන් new operator එකක් පෙන්නනවද? මෙතෙක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ පාවිච්චි කරපු නැති. තියෙනවද නැද්ද?
තියෙනවා.
මොකද්ද?
අර new node එකයි info එකයි මැද තියෙන්නේ අර.
ඔව්. info එකයි මේ මැද්දේ තියෙනවා hyphen එකයි greater than sign එකයි. හරි. අපි what did we use to access the member of the structure? What operator we used?
dot operator.
Dot operator. Very good. We used dot operator. Instead of dot operator, I used here hyphen and the greater than sign. Because this is pointer implementation. If it is an array one, to access the member, we use dot operator. If it is pointer one, to access the member, we use hyphen and greater than sign. This is two signs, hyphen and the greater than sign. Understood? Right. So, now you already fill the information part of your node. Next, you have to create your link. But here there is no any more nodes. You are going to create your list, no? So this next part just does not contain any address of another node. Because of that, you should put this member equals to null. That means there is no any link after that. Understood these two. මේ දෙක තේරුණාද හොඳට? නැත්තම් කියන්න.
මැඩම් මේ කොටස තව පාරක් කියන්න.
Oh, madam, I explained.
Chandika, excuse me.
Oh.
Our side also heavy rain and thundering. Heavy rain.
You can log out. I think it is recording in my computer now.
Then if something happen, it will be okay, no?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Then we'll continue.
Okay, thank you.
But I think students also will affect heavy rain.
Some areas are having heavy rain, no?
Yeah. Heavy rain means heavy
Thundering.
thundering and raining. I don't know, high speed raining.
Okay, if I disconnected, please wait. I will join again with my dongle, okay? Now I am using SLT Wi-Fi. Right. Up to here, okay. May steps 4 harida. First step, you need to define your structure. Then you need to declare your variable. Then you need to allocate your memory dynamically. Then you need to check whether you can allocate your memory or not, whether your memory is available or not. If you are okay with up to this, your new node is created. New node is space is allocated for your new node. Then you have to input your data and you have to create your pointer. To input data, this is your data item. This can be a value or something. If it is an integer type, no. So this is a value. We'll say 15. So you can input that value to this data field. To input this value, you need to refer that location using this. That means access that location using this. This new operator means you are using pointer, not array. If you are using array, you can access your structure member using dot operator. To access structure member of a pointer 1, this is the operator. There is no any special name. This is hyphen at the greater than sign. Then this is only first node. That means only first item in your list. After that, no any item. That means this does not contain any link to after that. Like this. You have only this one. These two are not in your list. So this should be point to null. To show that there is nothing else, we need to put this one, this member equals null. Then always you need to have a dummy node to refer the list. So your new node should assign to your head or your dummy node. So this head contains address of this element, this node. Actually, this is same as this, but we are not referring data field of the head node. We always refer in the address part of this dummy node. Then තේරුණාද?
Oh, madam.
Good. These are the steps we use to create a list. If there is no any existing list, you are going to create your list. To create the list, first of all, you need to declare your structure, first step. Then you need to declare your variable. Then you need to allocate your memory. Then you need to check whether you can allocate memory. Then assign value and the make pointers. Then assign new node to your dummy node. Those are the steps. Those called as algorithm to create a linked list. හරි. මොනවා හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න ඊළඟ එකට යන්න කලින්. හරිද හැමෝටම? Then second thing is insert a node at the beginning of the existing list. Right? You have already a list like this. Right? We'll say
Beginning
this is...
and specific position or not.
Sorry?
Inserting at beginning, again there are two cases: insert a node to an empty list, insert a node to beginning of an exiting list.
Existing list.
Head
Yeah.
data next null. A node can be insert to a link.
හරිද? We have already discussed this one. Now we are moving to this part. Right? So that means we are inserting a node at the beginning here. Right? We'll see the steps. Same as earlier, you need to allocate memory for a new node. Then assign the value to the data field of the new node. Then you need to rearrange the links. Right? Here, see, this is your existing list and you need to insert something at first position. So when you insert something at the beginning of the existing list, you need
Insert
to
node at the beginning of the exiting list before head another after password after head new node.
right? If this is the first element of the new list, you need to refer your list using this new one, no? So this your dummy node should contain address of this one. And this node should point to existing first node. Understood? Insert a node at the beginning of the existing list means this is your existing list. You need to include the new one at the beginning here. To insert this one at the beginning, you need to cut off this link. Cut off this link. Then you need to refer the list using this new node, and new node should contain the address of the first node of the existing list. Before after means before this is your existing list. After inserting new one, your list should like this. This is first one. So these are the steps. Next of the new node should point to the starting node of the existing linked list. Now, who should has the link of the existing existing list? I am asking who should contains, okay? I am asking this, who should contain the address of the existing first node? කවුරු ගාවද existing first node එකේ address එක තියෙන්නේ?
head එකේ.
head එකේ. very good. හරිනේ. එහෙමනම් we need to put that one to next of the new node. Yeah. We need to put head. Head contains the address of the existing first node. We need to put to next of the new node. මෙතෙන්ට දාන්න ඕනේ මේකේ address එක. ඊට පස්සේ we have to assign new node as a head to refer the list. තේරුණාද? සද්ද නැත්තේ මොකෝ?
තේරුණා මැඩම්.
හොඳටම හැමෝටම තේරුණාද? සකිලා from JRC සකිලා කරන්නේ නැද්ද මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක?
Insert node at beginning of exiting list. Step to follow algorithm. Allocate memory for a new code. ඒ කියන්නේ
කවුද explain කරපු එක්කෙනාට හරිද තේරුණාද? දැන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවද? මං හිතනවා ඒක ඔව් කියන්නකෝ. ඇහෙන්නේ can't hear you. ඔයාව ඇහෙන්නේ නැහැ පුතා. පස්සේ එහෙනම් අහන්න හොඳේ. හරි. දැන් ඒක හොඳටම තේරුණා නම් අපිට ඊළඟ එකට යන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට මේව nothing change here. Last and this link, these are not changing. Only the thing is this one. Right. Inserting at the end. Same as if this is your existing list, we already insert at the beginning. Now we are going to insert at the end. Here. When you insert at the end also, we can consider two situations. If there is a list and if there is no list. If there is no list, same as create list. Right. Here also we can consider two situations. Insert a node to an empty list. That is create a list. Insert a node to the end of the existing list. So existing list එකේ end එකට we are going to insert like this. Here. This is your existing list. And you need to include some more node. One more node you need to include. That means this node can't contain null. The new node should contain null. This last node should contain address of this new one. Nothing changed here. We'll see the steps. Allocate memory for a new node and assign value to the data field. You need to do the previous steps to allocate memory dynamically and check whether you can allocate memory or not. After that, you need to put your value to the data field. Right? To insert a new node at the end of the existing list, we need to traverse the list until the end. To insert an element at the end of the list, we need to traverse from here to the end. To traverse that list, we need another dummy node. We call it as temp. Right? So we can assign address of the first node using head to our new dummy node. Then to traverse the list, we can use this while loop. You have to traverse until temp.net next not equals null. Because if it is the last one, it is null. So you have to traverse until not equals null. So you are waiting here until you are traversing until temp.net next not equals null. Changing the nodes one by one. So now it contains the address of this one. Then you need to create your new links. You need to create this link, and again you need to point new node to null. Teruna. This is your existing list, and you are going to insert new one here. To include new one here, you need to traverse the list until this one. Then you need to cut off this link, and this should point to null. And this should contain the address of new node. Right? If you understood this earlier one clearly, this one clearly, you can understand this one also. When you write programs, you will understand these things. So next one is insert a node at a specified location. Specified location means in between first and last. In between first and last, any specified location. So I'm going to insert a new one in the third place. So again, these are the steps. Same thing, allocate memory for new node and assign value to the data field. Find the location where the new node need to be added. For that, you need a while loop again to traverse up to the location. To traverse that, you need another dummy node. Then you need to create these links. So this node contains address of this one. So you need to put the address this one contains already to here. This one contains address of this one already. So you need to put address which contains this one to here to create this connection. Then you need to put address of this one to this. These are the things. You try to draw pictures and try to understand and name your nodes correctly. This one as new node. You can use this one as previous node. This one as last node and this one as first or head node. Like that, you use meaningful name. Then you can understand easily. Right? These are the steps. Next of the new node should point to the new node pointed by the previous node. Previous node should point to the new node. New node should point at the node previously pointed to. That means you need to put address of this one here and address of this one here. තේරුණාද? පැටලෙනවද? ටිකක් විතර තේරුණාද?
තේරුණා madam.
Very good. ඕක සැරයක් දෙකක් ඇඳලා හිතපුවා මේවටත් ඕගොල්ලන් එක එක ඇඩ්‍රස් දාගන්න 10 20 30 40 50 මොනවා හරි එහෙම නෙමෙයි මෙමරි ඇඩ්‍රස් එන්නේ ඒ උනාට ඒවා දාගන්න. එතකොට තේරුම් ගන්න ලේසි. 100 200 300 400 කියලා දාපුවාම දැන් මෙතන 100 නම් මෙයා ගාව තියෙන්නේ 100. මෙතන 200 නම් මෙයා ගාව තියෙන්නේ 200. මේක 300 නම් මෙයා ගාව තියෙන්නේ 300. අන්න ඒ විදිහට දාගන්න. එතකොට ලේසි තේරුම් ගන්න. හරි. එතකොට insert කරන්න තියෙන්නේ ඔන්න ඔය අවස්ථා තුනට තමයි. There are 3 types of insertion. Insert at the beginning, at the end, or at a specified position. එතකොට ඒ ටික හරි. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට තියෙනවා ඒ විදිහටම we need to delete items from the list. Same as insertion, we can delete a node from a linked list at the beginning, at the end, or at a specified position. So we'll see how to delete the first node. To delete the first node in the list, if the list is empty, no deletions can be done. Else, head should point to the second node and then free the first node. එහෙම. empty list එකක් නම් අපිට delete කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැනේ. එතකොට if we have only one node, what can we do? අපිට තියෙන්නේ list එකේ එක node එකයි නම් ඒක delete කරපුවාම මොකද වෙන්න ඕනේ? head equals null කරන්න ඕනේ නේ. dummy node එක connect වෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ කොහෙටවත්. තේරුණාද? only one node නම් තියෙන්නේ existing list එකේ. දැන් මේක බලපුවාම මේ ටික නැතුව මේක විතරයි නම් ඔයාගේ existing list එකේ තියෙන්නේ. මේක delete කරා කියලා කියන්නේ මෙයා point වෙන්නේ නැහැ කොහෙටවත්. එතකොට you have to free this space, then you need to point head equals null. එහෙම නැතුව if the existing contains more than one node, you can delete first node. When you delete first node, head should contain address of the second node. Now, which contains the address of the second node? This is referring as head dot next. Head, not head, that operator. Okay. This is head. This is head dot next. So this contains address of this one. So head not next should point to head. When you then you can free this space. තේරුණාද? මේක head කියලා ගත්තොත් මේකට කියන්නේ head dot next. I will say dot for this operator. Okay, for easy this operator I will say dot operator, but this is not dot operator. So this one refers head dot next. This is referring head. This is referring head dot next. That means this part contains address of the second node. So this is to head. Then you can remove this space from your list. Same as earlier, to delete last node, you need to traverse until the last node. So if we take the one before the last as previous, you need to create previous dot next as null. If we refer this node as previous dot next should null. To do that, you need to traverse through the list until this node. To traverse, you need another dummy node using any name, temp or something. If the list is not empty, traverse the list up to the last node. Keep the address of the previous one. Point the node one before the last to null and free the last node. Delete means free the space. Then delete that specified position. It is also same as earlier insertion. You need to arrange the links. If you are going to delete this node, this one should contain address of this one. Already it contains address of this one, but you need to delete this node. So you can put address contains this one here. Then it automatically can point to this one and you can delete this one. Find the location where you need to delete the node and consider it as current and take node before the current as previous. Right? You take this as current and take this as previous. So current dot next should put here. Current contains address of this one. So current dot next should put here. Previous dot next. This one. Then automatically this one connect to this one and you can free this area. ඒ ටික තමයි තියෙන්නේ operations වලට ඉගෙන ගන්න. දැන් ඉතින් තේරුම් නැති තැන් තියෙනවා නම් කියන්න. මේක පුතේ කටපාඩම් කරන්න නම් බෑ. හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. හරි. මේ step by step හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. එතකොට ඕක ඇති දෙයක් නැහැ. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? As a summary, in this lesson, we learn brief introduction about singly linked list, associated operations of singly linked list, and array-based implementation. It is not necessary to allocate memory at the beginning if we are using pointer implementation. In pointer implementation of list, it is easy and efficient to carry out operations at the beginning of the list, but it is difficult at the end because it needs to traverse the whole list. If it is a very big list, it takes more time to traverse the list. Accessing the previous node compared to current node is not possible, right? Those are the summary. So now it is time to questions and answer. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න පුළුවන්. I can answer. ඒ කරලා අදට that is enough, I think. The time is 4:26.
Madam, madam, slide ටික ආයෙ මුලින් ඉඳන් පොඩ්ඩක් දාන්න පුළුවන්ද? පළවෙනි පාඩමේ ඉඳන්.
මුල ඉඳන්මද?
ඔව් madam. ඒ කියන්නේ දෙවෙනි පාඩමේ මුලින් ඉඳලා වගේ හරි කමක් නැහැ.
දෙවෙනි පාඩමද මේ පාඩමේද?
දෙවෙනි පාඩමේ මුලින් ඉඳලා madam.
පොඩ්ඩක් මෙතන ඉන්නනේ.
ඔව් මැඩම්.
හරිද?
හරි මැඩම් thank you මැඩම්.
මැඩම්
ඔව්.
මුස්ලිහා
කියන්න.
මේක මැඩම් අර C ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක වගේම අර ෆස්ට් ටයිම තේරෙන්න ඕනේද? කියන්නේ මට අර
නෑ ෆස්ට් ටයිම් නම් මේක තේරෙන්නේ නෑ. ඉතින් ඔයා පොඩ්ඩක් දැන් මේකේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක ඔයා දැන් අර ස්ටෙප්ස් මන් දීපු ඒවා ඔයා කම්බයින් කරලා ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක හැදෙන්න ඕනේ.
එහෙම ටිකක් යද්දි තේරෙන්නේ
ඒක මුලින් ඉඳන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලියන්න ඕනේ. ඈ දැන් මේක මේ වෙන වෙනම කෑලිනේ තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට මෙන්න මේ ස්ටෙප්ස් ටික දැන් ඔයා ක්‍රියේට් ලිස්ට් එකටත් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක ලියනකොට මේක එක කොටසක්. හරි. මේ තව කොටසක් මේ ටික කම්බයින් වෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට තමයි ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක හැදෙන්නේ ඔයාගේ. එතකොට අපි ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් කරනකොට ඊට කලින් ඕගොල්ලන් පොත බලන්න ඔය ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකේ ඕන තරම් තියෙනවා මේවා ලෙසන්ස්. පොඩ්ඩක් ෆලෝ කරන්න පොතේ තියෙන එකට වැඩිය ගොඩාක් ලේසි ඒවා තියෙනවා ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකේ. ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම්ස් බලන්නකෝ කොහොමද විත් තියෙන්නේ කියලා. එතකොට මේවා වෙන වෙනම තිබිලා බෑ. ඔයා අනිවාර්යෙන් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ. හරි. එතකොට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් කියපුවාම පේනවද මගේ ස්ක්‍රීන් එක? ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් පේනවද?
No මැඩම්.
නෑ මැඩම්.
නෑ මැඩම්.
නැද්ද? දැන් පේනවද?
ඔව් මැඩම්.
මේ තියෙන්නේ එතකොට මේ ෆුල් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක. මේ විදිහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලියන්න ඕනේ. මේක තමයි මේන් පාර්ට් මේන් ෆන්ක්ෂන් එක. ඊට පස්සේ මේක තමයි ස්ට්‍රක්චර් ඩික්ලරේෂන් එක. මේ වේරියබල් ඩික්ලරේෂන් එක. this is function to get node. අර ඉස්සෙල්ලාම මම ලිව්වේ dynamically memory allocate කරන එක. ඊට පස්සේ මේ තියෙන්නේ insert first එක. ඒ කියන්නේ අර at the beginning insert at the beginning. මේ තියෙන්නේ insert mid. That means insert a node at a specified position. වෙන වෙනම functions ඒවා. මේ තියෙන්නේ insert end. end එකට කොහොමද insert කරන්න අර steps ටික මේ එකට දාලා තියෙන්නේ. මේකෙන් තමයි ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක හැදෙන්නේ ඔයාගේ. ඊට පස්සේ මේ මුලම node එක delete කරන හැටි function එක. අර මං කියපු ස්ටෙප්ස් ටික මෙතන මේ කම්බයින් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ අන්තිම ඩොට් එක ඩිලීට් කරන්න හැටි. ඩිලීට් ලාස්ට්. මේ මැද්ද එකක් ඩිලීට් කරන්න හැටි. එතකොට වට ලිස්ට් එකේ තියෙන data print කරගන්න ඕන නම් මේ විදිහට print list එකක් දාගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක Tamanට ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. කැලි කැලි. ඒවට තමයි අර කොටස් වෙනම ඉගෙන ගත්තේ. හරිද? එහෙමනම්
මැඩම්
ඔව්
මේකේ අය ඩේ ස්කූල් තියෙන 16යි 17යි කියලා තමයි ටයිම් ටේබල් එකේ දාලා තියෙන්නේ.
ඔව්
එදාට තියනවද මැඩම්?
ඔව් ඉතින් ටයිම් ටේබල් එකේ තියෙන විදිහට තියන්න බෑ. 16යි 17යි 24යිද කොහෙද නේ තියෙන්නේ?
ඔව්
හ්ම්
ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් වැටලා තියෙනවා මැඩම් මට 16යි 17යි සූලෝජි වල ඒකයි මම පොඩ්ඩක් ඇහුවා. රෙකෝඩින් දානවනේ මැඩම් නේද ඒවත්?
රෙකෝඩින් නම් දානවා. ඉතින් අර ටෙක්නිකලි මොනවා හරි ෆෝල්ට් එකක් වුණොත් තමයි රෙකෝඩ් වෙන්නේ නැත්තේ. එහෙම නැති වුණොත් ඉතින් රෙකෝඩින් දානවා.
මැඩම් එදාටද මේකේ මේ කියන්නේ අපි ෆිසිකල් විදිහට අර මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑමින් ටික ලියන ටික කියලා
නෑ
දෙන්නේ?
නෑ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑමින් කියන්නේ ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් ඩේ ස්කූල් තියෙන දවස් වලට තියරි තමයි කරනවා සර්කියුලර් ලින්ක් ලිස්ට් එකයි W ලින්ක් ලිස්ට් එකයි. ඒ දවසේම ස්ටැක් ඇන්ඩ් කියුස් කරොත් ඕගලන්ට වැඩි වෙන හින්දා දෙවෙනි දවසේ කරනවා සර්කියුලර් ලින්ක් ලිස්ට් එකයි W ලින්ක් ලිස්ට් එකයි තුන්වෙනි දවසේ කරනවා ස්ටැක්ස් ඇන්ඩ් කියුස්.
මැඩම් මම ටයිම් ටේබල් එකේ WSA1 WSA2 කියලා මොකද්ද දාලා තියෙන්නේ?
වර්ක්ෂොප්.
ආ හරි
ඒ
මැඩම්.
කියන්නේ ඔය ටයිම් ටේබල් හදනකොට මේ අපේ රූල්ස් වගේක් තියෙනවා ඩේ ස්කූල් ගාන වැඩි කරන්න බෑ. ඒගොල්ලන් අපිට දීලා තියෙන ඩේ ස්කූල්ස් 4යිද කොහෙද එක සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකකට තියෙන්නේ. ඒ උනාට ඒකෙන් කවර් කරන්න බැරි නිසා වර්ක්ෂොප් කියලා අපි දානවා. එතකොට වර්ක්ෂොප් ඕන තරමක් අපිට දාගන්න පුළුවන්. ඩේ ස්කූල් කියලා තියෙන ගාන විතරයි දාන්න පුළුවන් එක සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකකට.
හරි මැඩම්.
මිස් චම්පිකා මේ ඕගොල්ලන් බුක් කරපුවද පුතා නැත්නම් මේ ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් වැටිලා කියන්නේ මොකද්ද සූලොජි?
සූලොජි මැඩම් මම ලෙවල් 4 කෙනෙක්. මට මේ සූලොජි මේ ඇනිමල් ෆෝම් ඇන්ඩ් ෆන්ක්ෂන් එක වැටලා තියෙන්නේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා බුක් කරගත්තේව නේද පුතා?
ඔව් මැඩම්.
හරි මිස් චම්පිකා නැත්නම් මම බැලුවේ මේගොල්ලන්ට මේ level 3 තියෙනකොට ආයේ level 3 4 practical
level 3 මේකක් නම් දාන්න බෑනේ නේ.
දාන්න බෑනේ ඒකයි මම චෙක් කරේ.
මැඩම්
ඔව්
මැඩම් මේ මටත් කෙමිස්ට්‍රි ප්‍රැක්ටිකල්ස් තියෙනවා මැඩම් මේවා නම් අපි බුක් කරපු ඒවා කොහොමත් මැඩම් මේ අර දීලා තියෙන ගෲප් 4ෙන් කවදා ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් ලෙක්චර් මේ සිලෙක්ට් කරත් කම්පියුටර් සයන්ස් ලෙක්චර් එකක් කට් වෙනවා මැඩම්. ඒ විදිහට තමයි කියන්නේ ඒ ගෲප්ස් 4ම තියෙන දවස් වලට මම බැලුවා ටයිම් ටේබල් එක මේ කොහොම කරත් CS ලෙක්චර් එකක් ක්ලෑෂ් වෙනවා මැඩම්.
කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ ඉතින් නේද?
රෙකෝඩින් බලන්නම් කියලා තමයි මැඩම් මාත් හිතුවේ එහෙම.
ඔයා දිනෙත්ට නේද?
ඒක ඕගොල්ලන් කම්ප්ලේන් කරන්න ඕනේ දරුවනේ මුලින්ම. ඔය වැඩේ හරියන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ හිතාමතාම එතකොට ළමයෙකුට ලෙක්චර්ස් අහිමි වෙනවනේ.
ඔව් නේද? මේ
චම්පිකා
දිනෙත්ට
ඔය
නේද
වැඩේ
කතා
නේද?
කරේ? දිනෙත්‍රාද ඔයා නේ කතා කරේ දිනෙත්‍රා?
ඔව් මැඩම්.
දිනෙත්‍රා කියන්නේ හරි උනන්දුයි එයා ඉගෙන ගන්න. එතකොට අපරාධය ඇත්තටම යාට කට
නෑ ඕක හරි නරක වැඩක් නේ. හැමදාම ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් ළමයින්ට බුක් කරන්න වෙන්නේ මේ ඩේ ස්කූල්ේ මේකෙන්. ඒක මේ හරිම මේ අවුලක් නේ අපේ ටයිම් ටේබල් එක එතකොට.
ඔව් ඒක තමයි.
ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ෆස්ට් semester එකේ සෙකන්ඩ් semester එකේ සේරෝන්ගෙම ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් තියෙනවා නේද මිස් චම්පිකා මේගොල්ලන්ගේ? ඒ දවස් පහේ
ඔව් නේද? අනිත් සබ්ජෙක්ට්ස් අපිට.
ඔව් මැඩම්. zoology වලින් තියෙනවා අපිට.
ඔව්.
මිස් චම්පිකා ඔක හෙට ඉන්ෆෝම් කරන්න ඕනේ.
ඩෑෂ් වෙනවා කියලාද?
ඔව් අනිවාර්යෙන් ළමයින්ට මේ හිතාමතාම වැඩක් නේ. දැන් කම්පියුටර් ලෙක්චර්ස් උත් දානවා ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් උත් ක්ලෑෂ් වෙනවා. දෙකම එකට එකතු වෙලා නේද එතකොට?
ඒකනේ. ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලන් ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් ෂෙඩියුල් කරනකොට ටයිම් ටේබල් එක
ඔව්
බලලා
ප්‍රැක්ටිකල්
ඉන්න
කියන
පාඩම්
එක මේ මාර විකාරයක් නේ. හැමදාම කොහෙන් හරි ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් ලොකු ප්‍රමාණයකට අපි මේවා අහුවෙනවා.
නෑ දැන් ඔන්ලයින් තියෙන හින්දා මේගොල්ලන්ට රෙකෝඩින් එක හරිය හම්බ වෙනවා. ඔන් සයිට් තිබ්බනම් එහෙම
නෑ ඔන්ලයින් මේ කිසිම විදිහකින් අපි ළමයිව රෙකෝඩින් බලන්න මේ මොටිවේට් කරන්නේ නැහැනේ. ළමයි ලෙක්චර්ස් එන්න ඕන කියලානේ අපි කියන්නේ. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට ළමයින්ට මේ සැනසීමේ මේ කරන්නත්
කොහොමද
බෑනේ.
ඉතින් ලයිව් ඉන්නවා වගේ නෙමෙයිනේ රෙකෝඩින් එක බලන එක.
මේ රෙකෝඩින් ඕෆ් කරන්නන්නේ චම්පිකා මිස් ෂෙල්.
ඒක තමයි මං ඉස්සෙල්ලත් බැලුවා රෙකෝඩින් ඕෆ් කරන්න මට බැරි වුණා අර බ්‍රේක් එකේදී. ඔයා ගාවද තියෙන්නේ ඒක?
මම හිතන්නේ ඒක තමයි මමත් මුකුත් කරේ නැහැ මේ මොකද මටත් බයයි මේ